Hi there. Good morning. Um, I can share with you. I'm sitting on this ergonomic seat where you have your knees supported, and it really helps you sit up straight. So I'm just putting that out there because it's incredibly comfortable, and it's a great place to sit and meditate because you'll keep a long spine, and you just kind of feel like you can breathe all the way into your lungs, your knees are below your hips, so there's no strain there, and you can be quite comfortable here for a while. So, anyway, just sharing that with you. So, yes, today wanted to talk about mindfulness as a whole, really, rather than just, the meditating part, because you can bring mindfulness into your everyday life. Um, Walking down the street, noticing how your body moves, checking into your breath, seeing how that goes, noticing how your breath adjusts to whatever it is that you're doing. So let's just say you're in a park and you're walking up a slope, your breath would change compared to walking back down the slope. It would be a different ratio of breath, little things like that. But also things around the home. So, mindful eating, for example, is a really lovely thing and quite eye-opening, actually, to experience. And I'll tell you why. So, if you take, let's just say, my breakfast each morning is a birch muesli with blueberries and homemade granola, and I have it in a coconut pot. So I thought, right, I'm going to bring in the mindfulness um, with not just the way that I'm eating this, but also how the coconut bowl feels in my hands, what the texture is like. And I'm going to be really mindful about every bite that I take. So I did this, and it's quite, as I said earlier, an extraordinary thing when you do it. When you take a bite of something and you really notice how the whole of your mouth works, your tongue is working tirelessly to push the food towards the teeth, for example. And that keeps happening all the time that you're chewing, or you've got that one bite in your mouth. The tongue is constantly working. It's like a kind of big minesweeper. It's sweeping the food into the center all the time, from the front of your teeth, the back of your teeth, from the back of your mouth, maybe. It pushes the food forward so that you can eat it. And then your salivary glands are working more. And also, what I noticed was how much we put into our mouths at one time. And when I was being mindful about eating it, it seems to take forever just eating one spoonful. And that's because I was really analyzing what was happening with that bite. And it made me realize that we put way too much in our mouths when we're eating at one time. Um, you might not, but generally you'll find if you do this experiment, you'll realize that you were putting too much in your mouth at one time. And why do we that? Probably because we are constantly rushing from A to B. We're not mindful. We don't stop and really experience all of these little things that we take for granted. So that's one example. Another example was in the shower, and I was um, drying off, and I realized how frantic the drying was with the towel. I was really kind of like rubbing away really, really quick, trying to get dry really quick, and for no reason at all. I wasn't rushing to go anywhere. I wasn't late for anything. And this is just this treadmill that we've got onto, where we hurry through everything so quickly. So there you are. There's another little thing when you have a shower, just kind of noticing. Maybe brushing your teeth is another one. Notice what the brush feels like in your hand, the handle, what's it made of. Um, the brush against your teeth, noticing some of the brushes going in between your teeth, um, the taste of the toothpaste, how that dries out your mouth a little bit at the end. All those little things that you can really tune into to have a mindful experience. And then one other idea is daily tasks that they're a bit ho hum. You're not really excited about doing them. And big one that pops up for me, and especially now, I know we're all going through this, is how many times you unload the dishwasher and repack the dishwasher, right? In this whole lockdown that we've had on and off. Um, well, I know from talking to friends anyway that we've all been filling our dishwashers constantly and unloading them. Uh, so that's a daily task, but being mindful about that, just noticing every part of it, make it more interesting just to see what you notice. It might be the heat of the newly washed glasses, how shiny they are when they're washed properly, um, the feel of the plates when you take them out, whether they're still warm or smooth, the sound that they make when you put them away in the cupboard. Yeah, little things like that. And my favorite, because it's my least favorite thing to do, is taking the trash out. So being mindful about that, that boring thing that we have to do. Just be mindful about it, really noticing what you're putting in your trash, how heavy the bag is, whether you've got to walk downstairs or outside your door to put it into the right bin, and the sound of the bin, and how much else is in there. Little crazy things like that. But these can all add up to a more mindful experience in your life. And why is that important? It's important because when we're being mindful, we are in the present. We're in the present because we're not, if we're focusing on the thing that we're doing, then we're not thinking about something else. So we're not thinking about the future, and we're not thinking about the past. We're not ruminating over anything because we're fully present. We're doing exactly what's in front of us. So it's good that we don't get swayed into the past or the future, but also when you're more mindful, you just might notice more in your life. Things that you had taken for granted, you might just start to notice a little bit more. I know that I have personally slowed down the speed of my eating. I've got a smaller spoon to have my cereal in the morning. So yeah, little things like that. It's just an experiment. It's just an idea. So if you want to, it's there for you. Okay, so that leads us on to today's mindful session, meditation. And I'd like to invite you to lie down, actually, on the floor. So I will give you a few moments to do that. If you're okay lying on the floor, make sure that you are going to be warm enough and that you're not, it's not too thin a mat underneath you or the rug, or, if you're on a wooden floorboard, make sure that you've got something that's going to support your body and not make you cold. So get nice and comfy on your back. Also, just watch out for your lower back. If your lower back's not happy with you lying straight with your legs out, then maybe put a little cushion underneath your lower back as well. But as best you can, lying with your legs just out. Just lying on the floor. And lying in a way that your feet just splay out to the sides. Just allow your feet to splay out to the sides. And just take a little moment here. So noticing what parts of the body are in contact with the floor or the rug, whatever it is. Just noticing all the points of contact. Notice where most of the weight is. It might be on the back of your head. Probably, though, it's on your hips, where your hips are on the ground. Notice the heels against the floor, the contact that they make, supporting the weight of your legs. And the same with the arms, if they're out to the sides, noticing the contact points with the hands. And know that you're supporting your arms this way. Just take a little moment to center yourself, to notice your breath. But not really having to worry about doing anything. And setting a little intention to keep with the focus as best you can. So you're focusing on purpose to stay in the present moment. And so whenever I mention a part of your body, just take your awareness there. You don't have to do anything. To see if you can feel any sensations there. And I will talk you through what to look out for. But please don't berate yourself if your mind goes walking. It can happen with a meditation like this. And if it does, that's fine. Allow that to happen, but just very gently bring yourself back to the point on the body that I'll be talking about. So don't worry about that. Maybe even just notice what the thought was that you had and then let it go. All right, so we're going to take our attention to our left foot. And I want you to take your awareness to your left heel, the heel of your left foot. Contact with the ground, the weight on the heel. And then moving into the instep of the left foot. Maybe you can sense the shape or the skin there. And then to the ball of the foot. Maybe noticing the air around it, or if you've got a sock on, the feeling of the sock, whatever it might be. And then taking your awareness to your left big toe, without really having to move it. You just know where it is by sensing it. And then gently just move your focus to the little toe on the left foot. And then get a sense of all of the toes on the left foot. Now I want you to imagine that your next in-breath, I want you to sense this, your next in-breath goes in through the nostrils or the mouth if you have trouble breathing through your nose. It comes in, goes into the chest, and on that inhale goes all the way down, travels all the way down the left leg to the left foot. And on the exhale, it comes back in reverse. So all the way back up to the knee, to the thigh, to the hip, and then back up into the torso and back out through the nose. So just doing a few of those Remember, every inhale starts at the nose and feeds down the body, down that left leg, all the way to the foot, right up to the left toe. And then out, all the way back up to the torso and back out to the nose again. Just doing that yourself a couple of times. It takes a bit of practice. And it might feel a little bit like you're sweeping down the body and back up the body. It's quite a fast movement or sensation because, it's quite a long way to go. One breath in and one breath out. And taking one more in breath. When you get to the bottom of the foot, just let everything go on the out breath. And then we'll take our awareness now to the lower part of the leg. So your calf muscles on the left leg, maybe you get a sense of them against the floor. Maybe you'll get a sense of the weight of the calf muscle. And then you take your awareness to the opposing shin bone, that long bone. Maybe you'll be aware of its strength. Maybe you'll be aware of the skin stretching over that bone. And then gently we're going to take our awareness now to the knee. It's a very well used joint. So relaxing as much as you can around the knee, behind the knee, inside the knee. Maybe just getting a sense of heat inside the knee or coolness, whatever comes up. And then gently tracing from the knee up the thigh bone, over the thigh muscles to your left hip. Just pause at the thigh for a moment, that left thigh, and see if you can get right inside the thigh muscle with your senses. Big, big muscle here. So just you can imagine maybe softening into the muscle a little bit more. And then letting that go. And we're going to do the same breath exercise again. So when you breathe in through the nose, down the torso, all the way down that left leg to the bottom of the toes. That's all one inhale, and as you breathe out, all the way back again. Back up through the torso and out through the nostrils. So really getting a sense of completion. And then when you've done a couple of those, just letting the focus go from the left leg. Just taking a moment. And now we're going to take our attention to the right foot as a whole. See if you can sense the right foot, where it is, the back of the heel on the floor. Feeling into that instep, the ball of the right foot. And then all the toes on that foot, just all of them. The skin on top of that foot as it traces up to your ankle. Softening in the ankle joint, another very well used joint. Now we're going to do the same thing. Every in-breath starts at the nose, travels down the torso and all the way down through the pelvis, down that right leg to the right toes. That's all one in-breath. And as you breathe out, you just reverse it all the way back up the leg again to the torso and out through the nose or the mouth. And then letting that go and just bringing our awareness to the lower part of the the right leg. So bring your attention to your right calf muscle. Just getting a sense of the weight of the muscle in that calf. Maybe it's the contact on the floor that you notice more. And at any time, if your attention goes, your mind goes walking, start thinking about other things, and just gently bring your awareness back to what we're doing here. So where we are right now, we're going to go to the right shin bone. Bring your awareness there, that long bone, and sheet of skin stretched over it, leading up to your right knee and softening here, softening into the right knee, inside it, behind it. And then gently working up the right thigh. So noticing the thigh muscle and really trying to get inside that muscle. If there's any tension there, you can soften. And then we'll take another breathing exercise going in through the nose, down the torso into the pelvis, and then out, down that right leg. That's all one in breath to the toes. And then reversing it, come up the other way and back out through the nose. Just doing a couple of those to get some practice in doing them. And be really kind to yourself. It doesn't matter if you find that tricky. You're trying it, doesn't matter at all. And then coming back to center yourself a little bit. And a nice way to do that is to take your focus to the sacrum. So that flat piece of bone at the bottom of your spine. So really that's the divider between both of your legs and your sitting bones, your hips. So you might feel that flat into the floor, or maybe it's slightly raised off the floor. Just noticing where the contact is. And then taking your awareness into your pelvis. So that's right from the right side of your right hip, right to the left side of your left hip, and the space between. And just notice your breathing. See if your abdominal muscles are just expanding. The skin on the wall of the abdomen is expanding with the inhale and retracting with the out breath. Again, it's just noticing, no judgment, just being aware of it. And also noticing if there are any muscles in your glutes, your bottom, your hips. You can just soften a little bit. Just take your mind back to the sacrum and imagine that the sacrum is the bottom of a zip and you're zipping yourself up along your back, vertebra by vertebra, all the way up the spine until you get to your shoulders, to the back of your neck, and where your head is supporting your body. And then just take your awareness to your shoulder blades, the pressure against the floor, and your shoulders themselves. Maybe you'll be noticing your back ribs against the floor. As you breathe in, you might feel more contact with the rug or the floor, whatever you're lying on. And every out breath, you might just notice it retract a little bit through the ribs. And you can take that same awareness to the front of your chest. So following the rib cage around, and feeling it expand with every inhale and retract with every out breath. And then just moving down the arms. So we'll take your right arm first. And have your hands so that the palms are facing up on the floor beside you. So first of all, noticing the contact that your hands make on the floor. Maybe the elbows are touching as well. And I want you to bring your attention to the tips of your fingers. The tips of your fingers are the most sensitive part of your hands. And just by bringing your awareness there, you may feel a bit of tingling. If you don't, that doesn't matter either. Whatever you're experiencing is your journey, is your experience, whether it's tingling or not. You're just noticing. And take your attention to the palms of your hands. Noticing the skin and how it might feel like it's a little bit creased. Particularly around the bottom of the thumbs, there might be a sense of a crease in the skin right there. Just noticing both hands together at the same time. Just sitting with that sensation for a moment. And then traveling up to your head again. And taking your awareness to the crown of your head. As if somebody had been gently tapping there, you know exactly where that area is. Your sense of that. And then taking your focus to your face, your forehead, relaxing through the brow, the space between the brows, your eyelids, and the eyeballs sitting in the sockets, heavy. Tracing down to the bottom of the ears, where the jawline begins, and following that all the way down to your chin, and relaxing that jaw as best you can. Maybe the tongue will sit inside the lower palate. Now take your attention to the back of your eyelids, and whatever you can see there, whatever it is, just looking at that, giving that awareness. And now sensing the whole body together. So I want you to take a nice in breath, again, the same way as you did it before, but then just traveling through your torso, down through both legs at the same time, and back up again on the out breath. And then the second time you do it, you can take it down the arms and back up, maybe into the face, and back out. So feeling your body as a whole, lying there, noticing every sensation that comes up, and just lay there as long as you are feeling it. Just be careful that when you do come out of it, you do so really slowly and mindfully. I'm going to leave you here so that you can stay with your experience. And I